Hey, everybody, and welcome to the second discussion of this module. It is about socialization and gender videos that are posted in this module. So we had a chapter over socialization of young children and a section about gender influence and identification and things like that. And this discussion will combine them both. So our overview. In this module, you've been exploring how children are socialized and the influence of gender on families and communities. To better understand these concepts, you will select one video from each of the two categories on the videos page for this module, socialization and gender identity. You will use these videos along with your chapter readings to engage in meaningful discussion about the topics. So the videos can be found here at the top of Module 5. So you've got 3 socialization videos to choose from. And the young lady who does these videos is very energetic and there's lots of graphics and stuff. And I think that they'll be easy to follow along and entertaining for you. So I'll get to that in just a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. And then you've got 4 videos on gender identity. And you see that they are, well, 3 of the 4 are TED Talks. So TED is known for they're good speakers, so hopefully you'll also find those engaging. So then here's what you're going to do with them. Okay, so you're going to select one of those first 3 videos and watch. But when you watch it, you're not watching to find answers like a lot of times you do with videos for school, right? Like, I've got these questions, let me find an answer. I haven't asked you any questions about it. It's your job to come up with a question. And I don't want you to come up with a right or wrong question. You're not quizzing your classmates. You're coming up with the kind of thing that leads to discussion, something that people might have varying opinions on. Um, it might be something that you do have an opinion on, but you recognize that other people might have a different opinion. Or it might be something that you don't necessarily have a strong opinion on, but you realize it just sparked a question in you watching the video. Something sparked a question. Sometimes, especially in the first video for this one, because this one, it has a lot, the first one in the socialization section has a lot to do about theories and different theorists. So some questions are posed in that one because, well, there's a reason there are multiple theories and theorists, right? Because one believes one thing and another believes another, and there are differences. So some of those questions are like almost kind of come automatically. And you could use one of those if it's a really good question, or like I said, in most of them, you would want to be coming up with your own. So now don't everybody jump on that first video because you think the questions are made for you because they're not necessarily. But anyway, so what you'll do is you'll watch one of those videos and rather than taking notes, at least the first time, I would really sit and watch and listen and be thinking, just letting yourself take it all in. And therefore, like that's when you're more likely to think, I wonder this, or how do I feel about that? And really get some opinion questions. So that's my recommendation to you is watch and take it in, not be stressed out about finding some kind of answer. So then for your post, you'll give the title of the video that you watched, a brief description of whatever idea was in that video that sparked a question for you. Um, and so that your readers have some background of, okay, what was said in this video that led to your question? And then you're going to pose a question to your classmates. It should not have a right or wrong answer, but should encourage thoughtful discussion, just like I already said. And that could be based on personal beliefs or just opinions in general. So don't ask simple rhetorical questions. Some of the videos ask some rhetorical questions. It shouldn't be that kind of thing. And then you're going to do the same thing with the gender identity videos. There are 4 of those to choose from. Watch it and think about what kind of questions it sparks in you. Like one of them talks about, the different toy sections at stores, how, there's a boy aisle and a girl aisle traditionally. And it talks about when Target did away with that, and somehow that was actually controversial. So that might not be a good question because I'm not even sure how you could see that as controversial. But some parents thought it made the toys too hard to find. So anyway, I guess my point there was I lost my point. I'm not sure what it was there. I really don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, just give the scenario, tell a little bit about what's going on in the video when your question sparked. Okay, so that whoever's reading it knows some about it. And then pose your question. And then for the third part, your artifact is kind of you still have to find it, but there are some criteria on it this week. Like an infographic probably isn't going to work. Just a picture isn't going to work. You're going to have to this week find a website or a study of some kind, a research article or a study, or possibly even a video that supports your claim. So I don't know if you noticed when you were reading the chapters, but even though this book is only 4 years old, some of the studies and the information cited as support for the topics in the chapter were old. Some 15 years old. I saw one that was 30 years old. And some research doesn't change a lot over time, right? But some does. And so I want you to think about, as you were reading the chapter, were there any times that you went, it's not like that anymore? Think about those times and go back and look in the chapter and say, oh, well, this study was 20 years old. Maybe things have changed since then. And then start doing a little bit of your own digging. And you might find that, no, current studies say the same thing. Or you might find that that's not the case and things have changed. I guess one of the things that made me think about asking this question is that when I was reading it, there's a lot talked about media and what people are supposed to look like in media. And personally, I think that in the last decade or so, while I know it still definitely exists, media and advertising has done a much better job of catering to everyone. Like I think about makeup commercials that finally are showing women of different color and different complexions, and underwear and swimsuit ads that have women of all body shapes in them. And I think I think they're at least trying to do better in that way. So that's what made me think about this question is what else has changed, or what do you view as having changed? So I think that could be really interesting. I think this whole conversation this week could be really interesting if everybody will really get into it. So the best way to do that would be to post soon so that people, and then read others and respond to them soon. And then there'd be time for people to respond back, and there could be some real conversation going in posts this week. So when you are responding to others, you do not have to find someone who watched one of the same videos as you. But I mean, you can, or you could try to answer someone else's without having watched the video. It depends on what their question is. Or you might decide it benefits you to spend 10 minutes of your time to watch that video. Whatever the case may be, like I said, I think I'm excited about this discussion. I think that if everybody fully participates and really gets into it, it could lead to some really good conversations. So I hope this video helped, and let me know if you have any questions.